Hello, Leafs Nation. Welcome back to your go-to channel, Toronto Maple Leaf News Network. Today we have 3 absolutely jam-packed updates about our Maple Leafs that have either happened or come to notice just a few hours ago. These are massive news breaks that impact our roster, our defense, and our overall season outlook. So if you are a true Leafs fan, you do not want to miss these updates. And yes, before we start the video, I request you, if you are new to the channel, then do not forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay in the loop with the freshest and most crucial Leafs news. Let's dive right in with our first bombshell update. Update 1. Bobby McMann's costly high stick, why he's out versus Sharks. Leafs Nation. Let's start with a tough one involving one of our emerging forwards, Bobby McMann. The National Hockey League's Department of Player Safety has handed down a 1-game suspension to Toronto's Bobby McMann for a high-sticking incident that occurred against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Monday night. This means McMann will have to sit out the upcoming game against the San Jose Sharks on Thursday night. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the incident. It happened late in the game, with 17 minutes left in regulation during the third period. McMann high-sticked Tampa Bay Lightning right winger Oliver Bjorkstrand, and the whole thing was born out of a tense shoving match. The initial flashpoint was a cross-check that McMann took up high. McMann then retaliated with a high stick to the head and neck area of Bjorkstrand. But get this, the entire chaotic altercation was reportedly started when Tampa Bay Lightning forward Gage Goncalves delivered a knee-on-knee hit on Maple Leafs defenseman Dakota Mermis. So what started as a defensive reaction from the Leafs side escalated into this suspension. Initially, McMann received a match penalty, which is a severe ruling that automatically suspends a player until the league issues a final decision. The NHL rulebook defines a match penalty as an action where a player deliberately attempts to injure or deliberately injures an opponent. The league has made its ruling 1 game. Beyond the benching, McMann will also forfeit $7,031.25 of his salary, which is directed to the Players' Emergency Assistance Fund. On the ice, this absence is going to be felt, Leafs fans. McMann, along with his line mates Nicholas Roy and Dakota Joshua, has been a massive factor in the Maple Leafs turning around their season. This season, McMann has contributed 8 goals and 6 assists for a total of 14 points in 29 games. In fact, he was one of only 3 other Maple Leafs players to have played in every single game this season. His reliable presence will be missed for this one matchup. However, this suspension opens the door for someone else. This is a great chance for forward Nicholas Robertson to slot back into the lineup. He has shown he can be effective in the games he has played after being scratched, so keep an eye out to see if he can make a real impact on Thursday night against the Sharks. That's the full breakdown of the McMann situation. It's a temporary setback, but hopefully the team can use this as an opportunity to see some other players step up. Update 2. Franchise fears. Maple Leafs. Chris Tanev may need surgery, Leafs Nation. This next update is incredibly serious and weighs heavily on the minds of every fan and manager. The situation surrounding our veteran defenseman, Chris Tanev. Tanev has been absent from the Maple Leafs lineup since November 1st, following a hit by Matvei Michkov that resulted in an injury. This incident marked Tanev's second stint on injured reserve this season and, heartbreakingly, occurred in his very first game back from a previous ailment. The recurring nature of these issues, particularly what appears to be his second head injury of the campaign, has understandably left the fan base deeply concerned about Tanev's long-term health. Now, we have fresh and frankly concerning reporting from Sportsnet's Nick Kypreos. Kypreos suggests that the situation is far more complex than we initially hoped. The major revelation is that Tanev may require structural surgery to fully resolve these lingering injury issues. The massive decision is happening this week. Tanev and the team are consulting specialists and reviewing the progression of his symptoms since the injury. They are deciding whether he should undergo this structural surgery with the hope that if he chooses this route, he would be back before the end of the regular season. The implication from Kypreos is critical. Tanev could potentially return without going under the knife, but that path offers absolutely no guaranteed timeline for healing. Conversely, opting for surgery would likely establish a clearer recovery window. A clear timeline is absolutely vital for Leafs management as they navigate trade deadline planning and roster management. However, the organization must weigh the short-term recovery against the major consideration of his long-term safety and quality of life. This entire situation has drawn incredibly painful comparisons to former Leafs defenseman Jake Muzzin. Muzzin suffered a cervical spine injury from an awkward hit in October 2022 that ultimately ended his season. We now know Muzzin's injury put him at risk of permanent paralysis if he took another major blow. Muzzin also had to weigh surgery, long-term risks, and the possibility of further damage before ultimately never returning to the National Hockey League. The central concern with Tanev is the risk of him taking another hit similar to the one on November 1st and making his symptoms worse. Any potential surgery would hopefully help alleviate that risk and ensure that whatever approach he chooses properly addresses both the recovery window and the long-term safety considerations. We all know Tanev solidifies our defense with his presence and shot-blocking ability, but the last thing anyone wants is to see him return at anything less than 100%. Risking further, perhaps permanent medical issues. For a warrior like Tanev, the hope is that he prioritizes himself over the team. By Friday, Tanev will have been on the shelf for 6 weeks with his latest injury. A decision is expected this week. Update 3. Huge trade rumors. Devils calling on Quinn Hughes, plus a Kadri to Stars connection. All right, Leafs Nation, for our final update, let's widen the lens and look at the league buzz, as this often affects the market for the Maple Leafs' own potential moves. We have 2 major pieces of speculation surrounding some big names, Quinn Hughes and Nazem Kadri. First, let's talk about Vancouver's Quinn Hughes. Elliot Friedman reported that the New Jersey Devils and the Canucks have been in touch regarding Hughes. This started after Vancouver let the entire league know they were listening on their veteran players. Now, this doesn't mean a deal is imminent. The teams have been in contact before, going back to even last summer. But how far down the road are they in actual trade talks? It is far from a certainty that there is any deal to do here between now and March, but some major names are being floated as potential return pieces. New Jersey's Simon Nemec and Dawson Mercer, along with any of the Devils' first-round picks in the next 3 years, would be in play. And listen to this. The market for Hughes may be much wider than just New Jersey. The Canucks believe there are teams completely open to the idea of trading for Hughes to have him as a 2-year rental, without any assurances he will stay past his contract expiring in 2027. These teams see Hughes as the final piece that could help them win or be a threat in 2026 or 2027. This strategy harks back to Carolina's trade for pending unrestricted free agent Mikko Rantanen last season. The difference with Hughes is that a team would have 2 full seasons to try and convince him to stay, whereas the Hurricanes only had about a month to do so with Rantanen. Could Detroit be one of those teams? They have what it would take to quench Vancouver's thirst for young centers. Anaheim, Chicago, and San Jose are others that could get involved as they start to become more competitive. Right now, it seems the going rate for a team wishing to acquire Hughes is a combination of 4 or 5 pieces, including roster players, prospects, and first-rounders. The Canucks are seeking those first-rounders to be unprotected to maximize the potential package. Jim Rutherford has a history of acting quickly and decisively, so while a Hughes deal does not seem at all close today, that outlook could change at any given moment. Now, let's look at another familiar name, Nazem Kadri. Dallas Stars' Tyler. Seguin is yet to have surgery, but his season-ending injury has opened a bit of a hole in the Stars' lineup. Because of this, the Stars are becoming a likely destination for Nazem Kadri should he get traded. However, this does not appear to be an urgent deal to get done either. The Flames are still not ready to give up on the season and have said they are not looking to trade Kadri. Things will not start taking off until Kadri is ready to go to management and tell them it is time to move on. There is no indication he is even close to doing that yet. The injury concerns around the league, like Seguin's, are becoming a big worry around the NHL due to the condensed schedule. Teams have less time to practice and recuperate, which only gets more difficult as the season progresses. Finally, while we are talking about league buzz, pending unrestricted free agent Artemi Panarin's situation is being closely monitored. The 34-year-old is still contributing over a point per game for the Rangers, who are holding a wild card spot and not looking to trade away players who will help them get back into the race. Panarin makes $11.642 million against the cap this season and is seeking another high-end salary as the cap rises. The Rangers reportedly want him to take an Anze Kopitar type of contract, like the $7 million average annual value deal Kopitar signed for 2 years. That's a wrap on the league trade buzz, Leafs fans. So there you have it, Leafs Nation. 3 major developments dropping just a few hours ago. What update surprised you the most? Did you think McMann deserved the suspension? Are you worried about Chris Tanev's long-term future? Let us know in the comments below. We will keep you updated the second a decision is made on Tanev's health or any other breaking news. Thank you for tuning in to the Toronto Maple Leaf News Network. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss our next update. Until next time, stay safe and go Leafs go.